What started as a casual meeting of 4 DSMs and a Mazda RX-7 grew to 8 cars in 1992. The event would become the first annual Buschur Racing DSM Shootout.
We are at the 20th annual DSM EVO Shootout, and compared to other shootouts, how's this one different?
You don't really have a shootout for other brands like the Mitsubishi one. It's very close-knit. Everybody knows each other. Everybody comes, has a good time. You see a lot of old friends, and it's the 20th year. So I've been coming here for, I think, 12 or 13 years now.
Well, it's just an amazing event. Basically, it's just grown every single year. We keep getting, new vendors, higher caliber of cars showing up all the time. More things that are more professionally built.
We're here with Emery Kapral, owner of STM. How's the shootout going for you guys?
Shootout's been great so far. Awesome weather, ton of people. It's crazy turnout.
Everybody comes up here for the shootout. It's the best event of the year. Everybody has a lot of fun, a lot of fast cars.
Over the past 20 years, the event has grown into a 3-day festival featuring a dyno challenge, autocross, and drag race. Local law enforcement shut down Main Street once again, as over 1,000 attendees and hundreds of cars line the streets. Buschur Racing kicked off the 20th annual event with an open house and dyno challenge at its facilities. On the dyno, Brandon Mastro Donato's EVO took the stock appearing class with 510 horsepower, while Emery Kapral captured the Buschur Racing Big Turbo crown with 872 horsepower.
At the 20th annual shootout, it doesn't get any better.
As the sun set on the first day of the shootout, the Wakeman Fire Department ignited a blazing bonfire to wrap up the first day of festivities. On Saturday, the event delivered a feature-packed lineup at Summit Motorsports Park in Norwalk, Ohio. An autocross started the day, while the drag strip offered an opportunity for competitors to fine-tune their vehicles. The autocross turnout was larger than ever. In addition to the traditional classes, David Buschur added a max effort class. Competitors would combine a vehicle's autocross time with its quarter-mile time to determine the ultimate do-it-all performer. Chris Carby took the EVO max effort class by turning in a sub-30-second autocross time, in addition to a mid-11-second performance on the strip. David Buschur also used the max effort class to show the current development on the company's clutchless 4-speed for EVOs.
So Dave, you just made your first full pass on your 4-speed clutchless. Tell us about it.
What do you want to know, the drama or the pass?
A little bit of both.
Pass was fantastic. It's been 9 months of work, and we just got it figured out Thursday night. We weren't sure that it was going to work. I ran the autocross this morning. I pulled up to the line with the car. Foot braked it to just 3,200. It was a 157 short time. The car went 990 at 140, and it works perfect.
So your first full pass in the car was a 9-second pass. How was that?
It's awesome because it's also my first ever 9-second all-wheel drive pass.
Yes! As the sun began to set on Saturday, all of the IDRC drag classes presented by Motivicity Distribution made test and tune passes before the first round of qualifying. On Sunday, a record turnout witnessed scorching quarter-mile passes. The quickest passes of the weekend were turned in by the 4G63-powered 1980 Toyota Corolla of Jerry's Racing. The Mitsubishi-powered Toyota rocketed to low 7-second passes. There was also an abundance of single-digit street cars. Among those, John Shepard collected mid-9-second passes in his daily-driven R35 GTR, while also piloting a Schweitzer Performance GTR into the 8s. In the early rounds of elimination, top qualifier Kevin Kwiatkowski dominated the field with a best ET of 8.33 seconds.
With front-wheel drive performance, many people think Hondas. What's the advantage your Mitsubishi has over those Hondas?
One of the first big advantages is the ability to set up and do a properly working automatic transmission, so I don't have the lifts at the shifts, and I also leave the line at a controlled rate rather than having to ask the tires to do the work for you. There's 28-inch slicks on it. You can get into tire shake as soon as you put a little bit too much into them. So there's a lot more I can work through on the chassis side and just power management to get the car out to the 330 and 1/8 mile better.
Unfortunately, he ended up with a ballooned radiator when his head gasket popped in the semifinals. Buschur Racing's clutchless EVO, driven by Kevin Lawson, put down its best 60-foot time of 1.39 seconds and a 9.55 second ET before a pump converter issue sidelined the car prior to the eliminations. Despite the breakdowns, quick passes were recorded across each class, raising the standards and expectations for future competitions. Once the last pair of racers cleared the traps, the 20th annual Buschur Racing DSM EVO Shootout was officially over. It was hard to imagine how Buschur Racing would be able to improve its shootout. However, record spectator turnout and some of the world's quickest and fastest Mitsubishis combined to make the event an incredible success.
So you've been coming to the shootout for about 7 years. What do you think about the 20th anniversary?
Well, I mean, it's a lot different than when we first started. I remember we were one of the only vendors back in 07 and 08. It's getting bigger and bigger, picking up steam. It's great.
What do you guys specialize in at DSM Graveyard?
Well, we're basically a custom machine shop. We specialize in the Frankenstein engine here, which is consists of the 2G piston or the EVO 9 piston with the 6-bolt connecting rod.
Now, did you start with the car and build the business, or start with the business and build the car?
Started with the car and then built the business. Basically, there was just a huge calling for people wanting the parts that I was running. So from that, built the business just based on demand, and it's grown into something big enough that it can support the racing program.
What sets Fuel Injector Clinic injectors apart from some of the other companies in the market?
We like to pride ourselves on our matching of the injectors, which help the tuners get a really smooth ride out of the car.
All-wheel drives put a lot of shock on the driveline, and you've developed a product to combat that. Tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, we've developed this product. It's called the launch control device. It's a pretty simple product. What we do is you can actually control the slip of the clutch, and it can help you release the clutch slowly. So it helps you ride the clutch out of the hole like you're supposed to with an all-wheel drive car. That way you don't have any shock, no wheel hop, and you're not breaking any parts and spitting parts out on the track like all of us have done over the past 20 years.
This is the first time we've seen FATHOUSE fabrications at the shootout. Tell us what brings you out here.
We've all been personally coming out here for about 5 or 6 years. We do intercoolers, manifolds, full engine builds, full car builds, chassis work, all that we do in-house. So we're pretty much a one-stop shop for any of your performance needs.
For those people who don't know about STM, go ahead and tell us a little bit about the shop.
We have probably the best team I could ever ask for. Everything goes pretty smooth from day to day. We're just one big family, and we all actually love racing. It's not about the money for us. We just want to go racing, and that's what kind of keeps us together.
We're here with Tom from ECM Tuning. Go ahead and tell us a little bit about the product line.
Well, we've got a package called ECM Link. It's a tuning package, data logging diagnostic package for the older Eclipses and Talons and Plymouth Lasers. So what we do is we convert these ECUs with our flash module that allows that type of functionality even on these older cars.
I really got to thank Mike, because the control box that we've got on the car was overheating and the solder was melting out of it. So Mike, your chief, spent 8 hours at my desk yesterday building a new box that has heat sinks and relays in it, and the heat problem with the box is gone and it shifts perfectly now.
Is this why he went missing for 8 hours during the day to a trip to Radio Shack?
Radio Shack and a place in Fitchville, the strip club.
I wasn't informed.
Buschur Racing would like to thank Motivicity Distribution, DSPORT Magazine, IDRC, ECM Tuned, STM Tuned, Fuel Injector Clinic, Force Performance, LMR Motorsports, KIGGLY Racing, NBF Tech Racing, Broken Wrench Performance, Gills Tees, Spec Ops, Magnus Fabrication, Torque Solutions, FATHOUSE Fab, All-Wheel Drive Motorsports, Green Filters, DEI, DSM Graveyard, and J Racing for supporting the 2012 Buschur Racing DSM EVO Shootout.